but holding the microphone close to my mouth.
Yeah, man. But literally, we had the band last time, and it was passing the microphone between like 4 of us, and sometimes you'd ask a question and be like, "Oh shit, yeah, you need that."
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, but after they've already said 2 sentences.
Yeah, innit? Which is probably why we should do it that way around. But yeah, cool. Right, we ready? Yeah. You ready?
Yeah, man.
You're watching Cronxlive. My name's Lousifa, this is Dylan the alias, and our guest today goes by many names. I'm just going to call you Rob. Yeah. But yeah, we've just done a sick live stream, Monday Night Hype, 2 sets, 2 different types, well, multiple types of music to be fair. But yeah, man, how did you feel it went, man? I was loving every single second of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, really happy with it. Yeah, got to do some vocals as well. That's only like the second or third time I've done.
Oh really?
Like vocals, so yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't have guessed
that stuff's really new. So like last.
Yeah, you said a lot of it was new. One of my favourite things about our streams, especially when like Dylan books people in, is a lot of the stuff we play is fresh. It's all new, and I love hearing new stuff, man.
There's 2 tracks I played tonight. I wrote at the weekend. So. Right.
Wow. Okay. So jumping straight in, talking about the writing and the production side of things, I said on the stream while we were doing it, how fresh it sounded, and how clean the production was, and how good it was. Mm-hmm. So for you to say that you just did that at the weekend, that's even more impressive, man. That's incredible. Like, I mean, Dylan, you're a producer. You know what it's like putting things together. You could spend months putting something together, but to put something together at the weekend and then come here and perform it, that's incredible, man. That was sick.
Yeah, before the camera started rolling, I was asking him lots of questions. I'm pressuring him to meet me. So he can show me some tips. But no, big up Rob. You should check out his music. It's at Wanderings Music on his Instagram and at Rapture Music. But yeah, so look for Rupture Rapture and Wanderings across all social platforms.
Yeah, everyone is nowadays, isn't it?
Exactly, but on your Spotify and your iTunes, and just buy it, man. Buy it.
100%.
Stream it, but buy it, man.
100%.
It means a lot more. But yeah, absolutely killed it. I was fully impressed. Obviously, you come down to Pentapads. The last Pentapads absolutely killed that. Brought down the SP404 Mark II. You coupled that with a Chaos Pad today.
Yep.
Some very smooth transitions from each track. I thought it was bloody brilliant. How many tunes did you have? I know you know because you had them down. How many tunes did you have in your lo-fi section that you did first?
It's probably like 15, 16, something like that.
See, I just think that, so that alone, to come and do a beat set live, 15 tunes, and transition it as well as you did, it was lovely. Yeah. I really liked it. The strings, everything, it blew me away.
Watch it back on YouTube. We'll get that whole set up, man. Both sets all up on YouTube, probably within the hour.
So you had a vocalist on. You yourself was doing some vocals, but you also had another vocalist on your first set as well, who wasn't here, but you've recorded with.
Yeah.
He's from Worthing, right? What was his name?
Yeah, it's Adam Feldman.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been releasing music for a while.
How did you meet him?
I met through the gym, actually.
Nice. That's where us lot meet people now.
Yeah, we went to the same gym, and yeah, there was like a WhatsApp, and it was like I put some music out, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll fish, maybe I'll get a few more people, check stuff out on the gym WhatsApp, and then he was like, oh, hey man, I think we're doing kind of similar stuff, and I was like, yeah, and then got talking, and then he played quite a few nights with him down in Worthing. He does like a semi kind of like once a quarter kind of night at Cellar Arts in Worthing, so I played the last couple of those.
What's the event called?
It changes every time. He likes to mix it up. Last time we played, he does improv beats and improv.
He produces himself as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he'll make the beats on the fly and then improv rap as well.
On the night.
Yeah. There's 2 of them, the 2 guys.
That's cool.
They're called the Silly Sound System. Tej and Feldman. And last time they raised the bar by also doing a chili hot wing challenge halfway through it as well. So.
Nice. Those down in Worthing, go check them out because that sounds lively. How do you find performing in front of crowds?
It's new for me. I've always played in bands previously, so
it's also I want to touch on that, but yeah,
100%.
So it's kind of it took me a while to do it, and then I was kind of been writing music for probably on my own for like 6-7 years, and then kind of through COVID and lockdown, I kind of got my hardware, kind of got more of a kind of a handle and a grasp, and found my sound. And yeah, then was just like everyone when things opened up, was just like desperate to get out and play, basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I'm just kind of, yeah, it's a bit different standing up there on your own rather than having, you know, other people around with you. But yeah, I'm kind of, yeah, I love it. So.
Yeah, so you said earlier off stream that making music by yourself you found easier because like there was less. Yeah, please, because when you said that, I wasn't
more comfortable.
I
rather
wasn't
than easier.
I wasn't
more comfortable.
I wasn't shocked.
Yeah.
But the amount of people that I meet, not I've met myself, but including myself, where if you're working with the right person, you can. I find it's very much like a driving force.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, 100%.
And it stops not writing block as much, but just it's not as stagnant.
Yeah, it's always good to have someone else to bounce an idea off.
Yeah. But then when you said like examples of why you prefer it, I was just like, oh mate, it makes complete sense. Like especially if you know the direction you're going in.
I think that's
there's
for me.
No one putting a crossroads in front of you.
I think because I've come from like bands, and I'll be like, I have an idea in my head, and I'm like, I hear the song in my head, and then I'll go to practice. I'll show the other guys how to you know how to play the song. Then we'll jam on it. It'll get completely changed to how I thought it was, and then you know we might tour that for like 6 months before we finally get a recording of it. Then we get, and so then it's taken like, you know, probably a year.
It's a longer process, isn't it?
Yeah, to hear what that original.
But the thing with bands is though, you know, you've got a drummer, you've got a guitarist, you've got a vocalist, and everyone's writing different things in their own way. When you're producing stuff like what you did today, you're doing all of it.
Yeah.
So the end product is all from you.
Yeah.
So having less input from less people, I think, is actually better. It's a cleaner result, I think.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's kind of, I can have an idea in my head and then go and jam something out and then have it kind of, you know, 90% of the way how I imagined it or how I heard it in my head within like a morning or something. Rather than
weekend and then just play it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, rather than waiting a year before I get a recording of it.
So just touching on the fact that you're saying that like you write a song, you'd have to go through the process of teaching it. It would evolve in some way, and then you'd be touring it, and then you would record it. We pick up Ellipsis. We recently had Ellipsis on. They're like a kind of metal band, but they've gone through the process of like jams and stuff like that when they was younger. But now the way music's going, they do a lot of their stuff straight on their door. So their drums are sequenced, and then they record everything else in.
Yeah.
And it works really well. Did you find that making the music you're making now, because of how it's made, there's no process of waiting it out? You can just, oh, this is an idea for it. Like you said, you made music at the weekend, you performed it tonight.
Yeah.
Do you like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's the technology, isn't it? It's like, it's so, everything can be really immediate now.
Do you think Ableton is, sorry, I don't want to get really techie and bullshit.
Do it, get techie, do it.
It's not that, man. When people try badmouth Ableton, I'm like, yeah, bro, but the fluidity of it, like it just, if you want to do something on Ableton, there's very little that's going to stand in your way to get it done as quickly as possible. Yeah. Like coming from like traditionally being taught on Cubase and then going to Ableton, I'm just like, the workflow on it is fucking insane. So coming from a band and like a very live live history, going into like, oh, I'll fucking do this, especially with the modular stuff, like, because it's still jamming, but you're doing it all by yourself. Yeah. Was that not just like, not a breath of fresh air, but refreshing that you could do everything?
I mean, I haven't been in a band now for like nearly 10 years, so...
very young. Look very young.
I'm 40, mate.
He's my age, man.
I just humbled the guests, bro.
I'll take it. I mean, Ableton obviously is built around loops and it's so quick to get a groove going and get something. And then once sometimes that's all it is. You just need that basis, and then you're like, right, you can start throwing stuff on top of it, taking stuff away.
But one thing, I know you say it's about loops, and I know what you're saying, but because you've got that you've got the the page, not the song page.
Got arrangement or
But-
session, yeah.
Yeah. You can have so many loops that aren't a loop. Like, it's just amazing. Like, when I first used it, it's like, fuck. So I could do like 8 variations of one melody and then just grab them from this page and drag them across here, rather than
Yeah.
when I'd be making stuff on Cubase, I'd have the like arrangement, and then at the end of the arrangement, I'd have all the stuff that I've recorded that I'm not using, but I might use soon in the song. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember first going on label and being like, what? I describe
You
it to
literally
people.
have like a sketch pad and then you've got like...
So
yeah.
I describe it to people as it's like an easel. So you know when you're
Yeah.
painting and then you've got something with all your paints that you can like mix up your colours and stuff like that. It's just like having that instead of like having to mix a paint every time you want to use that certain colour. You've got that paint to use whenever you want it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I fucking love it. So when you said that you work on the Ableton, I was like, this is amazing. So do you record anything into your SP at all?
So SP is mainly samples.
You've got quite a lot of guitar sounds on there, so I don't know if you would play anything into it.
I have.
Record straight into it.
So
I did say that
not to
earlier
confuse things
about the
further.
band thing,
I
because you
do-
play guitar, innit?
Yeah, I do have another project with a guy up north. Shout out Joe.
Big up.
GOL. We go under the name Spectral Flux, and I mean, I cannot write beats like him. I'm talking like he's like
Yeah.
Aphex Twin level kind of
Oh,
like
shit.
insanity of
Yeah, but the
beats.
stuff he was playing towards the wonderful
Yeah,
stuff
bro.
he was playing, man. Like,
I love all that broken beat stuff, man. Like, it's well choppy, and that's what I like. The stuff you played towards the end, man, that was a bit of me, man. Yeah, 100%, man.
But yeah, so he'll chuck me some beats over. I'll put it into the sampler, put it in the rest of my rig.
do you
I've
send
got-
over the stems or the whole thing?
Usually, yeah, it's usually broken up. It's usually stems. So I've got stems.
Lovely way to do it.
Yeah, and then I'll put synths around it, and then I'll throw some guitar on there or something. We had an album out. It's under the name Spectral Flux. It came out in like March, I think.
Go fucking check it out,
Check that
people.
one out as well.
Yeah.
I said to you earlier about like the guitar tracks. There was a couple of guitar samples that you used in one of the tracks on the first set you did.
Yeah.
And I said to you, like again off camera, is it your guitar in? You said some of them are samples, but
Yeah.
how fussy are you when it comes to like live instrument samples coming from a live music background? Because I know a lot of DJs, a lot of producers, they don't touch instruments, never have done.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I feel like because of your band history,
Mm-hmm.
do you have more of a kind of an input
I,
mentally when it comes to that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff is samples that are kind of I've dragged from different libraries and stuff and kind of rearranged to kind of give it. I don't just like grabbing just like a solid sample. I like to give it a little bit of something.
Any pitch shifting going on?
Little bit warping, switching the tempo up. I like taking stuff that's like an ambient sound that's like meant for like that's like being recorded in at like I don't know 100 BPM and then switching it up and kind of putting it down, speeding it up. And I do like for the lo-fi stuff. I do like the sound of kind of traditional instruments. Yeah, I love
Yeah, so
guitar on there, harp, strings.
I fuck with harps, man. I like.
String stuff sounds good on that ambient stuff, man. It always does.
Yeah, and I
It's
tell you,
warm. It's a warm sound,
Yeah.
man. And that's what I liked about your production on the early stuff.
yeah, that's what like the production. When I said it sounded so clean,
Mhm.
it was because it sounded live. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that, I could imagine that. Like I remember years ago seeing Aphex Twin. Actually, you mentioned it already with a huge live orchestra.
Yeah.
And that was, to me, that was mind blowing. I think I was probably only about 13 at the time, 14. And it was just incredible to see what I associated as like techie synth music with a huge live band like that.
Yeah.
What you was playing earlier, well, I could see a violinist or a harpist standing right next to you and it would sound and look incredible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was that clean the way it sounded. It sounded like
Yeah.
you were recording an actual harpist or an actual
Yeah.
guitarist in the room.
I mean, I think some of that stuff was written in MIDI and then used. I can't remember what I used now. I think it's an Arturia plugin, an orchestral plugin from Arturia.
Yeah.
Kind of like that kind of.
Did you get that on Contact?
I think it might be. I think it's called Augmented Strings. It's like one of their standalone.
Yeah.
ones. It's cheap, but it
Mate,
sounds
if
good.
you do orchestral VSTs are bucks, like bucks, man. But But no, I think strings...
Cheaper than hiring an orchestra, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use it more than once. But no, I find strings work very well, and you can get decent MIDI harps, man. Like, I find harps really nice to do solos on as well. I think it's cool. As long as go ham, I love it. But so you've got a load of lo-fi stuff to kick it off with, and then you moved on to like broken garage kind of vibe, but then
future garagey.
Yeah. I really like that.
That was an EP. So some of that was an EP that came out.
What's it called?
It's called Realms. It came out in March, I think. Actually, in March I was like crazy busy at the beginning of the year, I think.
And we're glad for it.
And then I have written a follow up. So I've got another EP. So some of the tracks that I played tonight were from that EP. It doesn't have it doesn't quite have a name yet. I'm kind of focusing on the lo-fi stuff at the moment.
Okay, yeah.
So it'll probably be maybe like kind of March next year kind of time. I also have.
We'll get you back down for that.
Yeah, we'll get back down.
I've also got. I started off doing melodic techno, and I've got a melodic techno EP that's been sitting on my hard drive for like 6 months that I need to finish as well.
Do you mix your techno?
Yeah, I mix and master.
That's brilliant, man. It's just such a. It's so many genres. It's really impressive. It really is.
Yeah, I mean.
Can I quickly answer one thing?
Yeah.
If you haven't watched the episode and you're thinking I don't really like lo-fi or whatever, if you like stuff like Burial, like really early, like you know what I mean, broken-y, dubstep-y sort of stuff, like
post garage kind of vibe, or
Yeah. Check it out. Like it's his first set's amazing, but not saying that. But there's something for everybody.
Cronxlive, YouTube, Insta, it's all going on.
Cronxlive, YouTube, check it out. His second set is like 135 up to 140 kind of vibes, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's really nice. Like if you know Hyperdub's Burial, it's just right up that kind of street. Bit more modern sounding, but I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't mean that in a good way, or I don't mean that in any way. It just sounds much more cleaner. Do you know what I mean?
It's kind of got.
It's lovely. You've got the kind of
like wearing them on my sleeve, but
it's awesome. Like, you've got the kind of like
that kind of like really crunchy kind of beats, kind of that really kind of really gritty kind of percussion and stuff.
It's lovely, but it's so pretty.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I hate describing this to like certain people because I use all these. It's like angelic and it's like melodic and pretty, but it is.
Yeah,
like it's very pleasing to their ear and it's not offensive.
Yeah, I think it's always been a thing with what I've done is that I try and kind of trying to create an emotional connection to the music. I don't know. When I first started doing techno, melodic techno, I kind of got a real bee in my bonnet about people kind of making it sound like it's like a throwaway genre or something. And I was like, but electronic music can be just
so easily with that music.
Yeah, but electronic music can be just as emotional as a singer-songwriter or something. It's just how you tap into it.
I'd be really interested to hear your early like metal music. See the contrast.
Yeah.
Do you think you make the music you're so firm about it being how you just described it because of how I can sound like a complete and utter non-educated metalhead now, but because you come from such a brash in your face kind of, or was it not that kind of metal?
I don't know, because the first band was kind of
sorry, I'll stop asking.
First was kind of semi kind of hardcore kind of ish kind of thing.
Would you like it to?
I'm not sure now, to be honest with you, but second band, we're a stoner metal band. We sounded like Clutch.
Okay.
I like Clutch.
I love stoner rock.
We were lucky enough to go on tour in Europe with Black Label Society for a couple of shows, which was cool. So
how was that? How old was you when this popped off?
I was like late 20s, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was early 2000s. We were talking about the old Brief earlier.
Yeah.
Which became the Brief. Yeah, a shout out to it. It's Pizza Express now.
They had the best adverts in the movie adverts in the toilets, man.
Oh yeah, they had the TV screens above the urinals.
Yeah, bro. And the back room was fire.
Man, the early 2000s and 90s were wild in bars, man. It was incredible.
Bro,
TV screens above the urinals. Come on. But that whole scene, that kind of towards the tail end of Scream Studios, RIP, and obviously I was working at the Black Sheep by that whole time, so I missed a lot of the live band nights. But then a lot of my friends were in bands, like Surrounded by Disgust and all those guys we were talking about earlier. They were all those Croydon bands. The scene was so strong back then, and there was room for kind of subgenres and different types of metal to be going on. And now that I think the kind of drum and bass is coming back in a big way, garage is coming back in a big way, there's a lot of subgenres like what you're talking about with the melodic stuff coming through now, getting a bit more recognition, getting a bit more kind of space.
Yeah.
And I think a lot more producers are doing what you've done and kind of expanding on, like you said, the emotional elements of the music and like the artistry of it, rather than just being like, let's make some bangers and fill up a dance floor and just club it out. There's room to do more.
Yeah, I mean, there's a place for that as well, obviously. I think as well, there's a lot of like, the technology makes it a lot easier to kind of do that kind of genre blending and kind of just like letting your imagination kind of go places. You're not limited anymore. It's kind of
you're not just playing with what you've got everything to play with.
Yeah, actually, what you just said, like before, if you was trying to make what a lot of the stuff that you did today on the stream, like 10, 15 years ago, you would have struggled to find samples of certain instruments and things.
Yeah.
Well, ain't even about the samples. You're right, but to do, I don't know, two of the things that you do on the SP404, to do that 10, 15 years ago on a DAW, would have been, you would have just sat there going, I've got to cut up so much audio.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to get that stutter effect.
Yeah, I've just spent like 4 hours trying to make a respace on Acid or something.
Bro, this is how I explained when I went on to.
That's why you got to respect all the old boys like Aphex Twin and Venetian Snares, all those guys.
Bro,
even doing that shit in the 90s, bro.
Even like you look at like Fatboy Slim.
Yeah,
like,
bro,
when people like that first started, they were cutting up physical tape.
Yeah,
and then sticking it together, bro.
With an actual drum.
It's like pre-MPC vibes. It's just insane. Not even like analog sampling. But I had something I really wanted to say. But
got loads of things you want to say, Dylan.
Yeah, but it's gone cool.
We could go look.
But yeah, so your aliases, your pseudonyms, can you just list them and what music they are about?
Yeah, so I guess the main one is Rupture Rapture. That was mainly melodic techno. I've got like 6-7 EPs out from under that name. An album which, don't listen to the album.
Buy it, but just don't
listen. And then I kind of. Then I started doing Wanderings about 3 years ago. I had like I put out like a tape loop kind of thing where it was kind of very kind of like I used the Electron Digitact as a sampler, and you can kind of really like tweak the sample lengths. So I would put a bunch of samples in and then just make them all run at different times.
So about like time stretch them or
or like you would like with tape loops basically, but like a digital version of it, and then I kind of put some like drums underneath it and stuff. I had an album out a few years back on that, and then I started doing more lo-fi stuff. So I had like a beat tape that came out about 3 years ago now, and then
you released something recently that was on BBC Introducing Worthing, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that's the newer stuff. So I started writing lo-fi when I got the 404 properly. And that was probably about a year and a half ago.
What made you get the 404 if you wasn't making lo-fi beforehand? Just asking.
I kind of was. I was dabbling in it on the Digitact, but I like the look. I don't know. I like the idea of something that was like really immediate and really portable.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a very attractive piece of kit, man.
And when I first got it, I was like, I don't get this workflow because it's not it has a step sequence on it, but it's like very rudimentary.
Yeah.
And it was like it's almost like a looper, but it's not a looper because you can still. And I was like, I don't really get this. But then when it clicked, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't touch anything.
It's like everything
goes for like 6 months. I was like,
yes,
like locked
embedded.
in. Like
it's nice.
It's work though, man.
Like, that's why I did the Future Garagey stuff.
So quick question.
Future Garagey stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you start? Like, was you making that on Ableton, or was you making that on the SP? And then what?
So,
sorry,
I'm trying to remember. No, I think I remember I was driving back somewhere, and I something came on the radio and I was like,
What was it?
it wasn't Burial, but it was close to Burial. I think it might be a Vacant track. I think it
Okay.
was. It came on, and I was like, oh, this sounds great. Like,
So what it's about.
why don't like just like those like really like gritty kind of, as I said, the percussion on it.
Yeah.
I was just like,
That kind of
I
crushing.
was like, I've got to try this. I've got to try
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
And then, got some samples and started playing around with it, and was like, actually, I like how this sounds a lot. And then just kind of extended that out over an EP.
So is any of the percussion sequenced at all, or is it all samples?
Some of it. So I normally, the percussion will be loops that have been cut up and kind of messed around a little bit.
Is that the same for the drums?
But I was,
Like,
I
cool.
was sequencing the kick and the snare.
Oh, okay, cool.
And some of the hi-hats.
Okay.
It's kind of a
Would you
hybrid.
Would you ever be tempted to work with live drummers and live musicians again to make that type of music? Or
Yeah,
are you just done with having that many people
No,
in
no.
your room?
I mean, I think that mix of the two can sound amazing when it's done properly and done well. So
It's not quite as portable as
and
the
it gives it
equipment
that. You can't beat the sound of a live drum kit. Like it does bring
Agreed.
something else in the mix. And
There's an energy to it as well
yeah,
from
the
a
energy,
performance
yeah,
standpoint.
and there's and the way it looks as well. It's aesthetically, it looks great to have live instrumentation on stage. Yeah.
Cool.
Bro,
I was going to go down a massive drum tangent.
So it was Rupture was a load of melodic techno, then a Future Garage EP at the beginning of the year, and there's another one coming out. Wanderings was some weird stuff. I was just using it as like an alias for stuff that didn't fit anywhere else. Then I've got probably 40 instrumentals, beats that I've written over the last 2 years. I was going to put that together in an album, and then I started putting vocals on some of the tracks recently, and then I'm like, right, okay, well, I'm just going to do an EP of lo-fi with vocals on it, which is nearly done. I'll probably put that out in the new year as well.
Yeah, sick. I feel like we could talk to you for about 12 hours about this stuff. We need to get you back on.
Yeah, 100, I could talk for hours.
Bro, I'm going to edit this anyway, but actually, probably not going to edit it. I'm just going to put the whole thing
I was
out.
going to say, bro,
Yeah,
you
it's
don't
just
edit
the whole
properly.
thing.
It's all one take.
Just put it out there, and people can fast forward to the bits they're interested in. I'll chop it up a little bit. But
I mean,
That gives you the timestamp shit, bro.
Yeah.
I'm a music nerd, so I will just I'll just chat, mate.
But that's the thing, man. At the end of the day, a lot of the people that Dylan brings on, the producers, we book for Monday Night Hype, especially with things like Pence the Pad and the crowd that we roll with. Everyone's producing, everyone's doing stuff, and we spoke about earlier, touched on it. The tech makes it easier for people now, and tech heads are they're music people now. Do you know what I mean? So the conversations. Rabbit holes all day long, do you know what I mean? All day long, bro. I'm saying,
We'll be thumper, bro.
I just bought. I've got a Chaos Pad that we were talking about it earlier. I bought all my stuff for the fun of it. Do you know what I mean? I've got a drum machine, I've got that, and I don't produce music for any other reason than just to make noise in my house. But to see what people can actually do with it when they put the time in, the effort to learn how to use that equipment properly, bro, it's impressive. Impressive doesn't even begin to cover what you did with us today on the stream. Watch it.
You go check it out.
But we need to get you back for some live performances and do some stuff on other Cronxlive productions and stuff, man. Come down to Riffraff, come down and do some stuff with us, man, 100%.
Yeah, I've got the Pentapads night was if there's anyone that's kind of not sure about trying stuff like that out, or it was that I had such a good time that night.
It's
so welcoming, and I got loads of I've not really done vocals. People give me advice on holding the mic and stuff like that.
It's a forum, bro. It's like an open room for everyone.
It's a community, man.
So it was it was a great night.
Oh, we really appreciate that because we it's what it's about, man. Off camera talks, but it's a brilliant place, man. Riff Raffs in general was awesome. Make sure you come down to Pentapads. It's the first Thursday of every month. It's usually from 7 till midnight. Sometimes it's 8 till midnight. But come down if you're a rapper, if you're a singer, if you got beats, just bring down your USB. Bring down if you got a little bit of hardware. Don't fucking cartwheeling shit in. Do you know what I mean? But bring your MPC, bring your SP, bring like your laptop if you need to. Bangers. But yeah, bring it in, plug it in, bring your USB, play what you want, rap what you want, sing what you want, draw what you want. It's a brilliant community. Everyone's on the like a level. It's really nice, very welcoming.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I had like beats that I was like, I know I'm limited in what I can do vocally, but to hear something that I've written and then have someone that can rap start freestyling over the top of it, and I was like, fuck, okay, this is.
This is what I was going to say. We need to get you down to a cypher show. So we haven't done one in a couple of months because of microphone issues, but I do this thing where I get like a load of producers in the building, a load of rappers in the building. The producers just play the shit, and it's just like Penta Pants, and the rappers just do their thing. But we stream it. We've done three or four episodes. Yeah. Really, really, really good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Great energy, really great vibe, and it's yeah.
If you're not a dickhead, we're not going to invite you.
That's the rule for Cronxlive in general, to be honest with you. But like, it's another really, really good show for like the community vibe. Do you know what I mean? The MCs that come down here, the rappers that come down here, they appreciate good beats and good production going on, and obviously people like yourself appreciate people just dropping bars on your music. Do you know what I mean? And it's just such a good like atmosphere it's a tiny little studio space at the end of the day that we've got here at the Cronx Tap, 71 High Street, Croydon. But like, we make a lot of noise in this tiny little room a lot of the time, and cramming people in here and just getting it done. Do you know what I mean? And we're all about spreading the word, revive the vibe. That's what we say here on Cronxlive. We're all about kind of rebuilding the scene here in Croydon. Like, the community's here, everything's here, but there's just no, like, the culture's here, everything. Just, there's no scene at the moment. There's no venues.
Just needs a spark.
And that's what we're trying to do. And we need people like you to come down and do what you do, because you're incredible, and you know, Dylan's good as well. But like,
metaphorically speaking, what did you say? We're trying to build a community. You're a massive brick in that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So thank you for coming down, man. Like, absolutely smashed it.
100%.
I know you've literally just done it, but just list off where people can find you.
Yeah, sure. All socials, I guess.
At Instagram, Wanderings Music.
At Wanderings Music, at Rupture Rapture Music. Twitter is at Rupture Rapture. No, I'm using Twitter. I think I'm on Blue Sky as well now.
Search him up.
MySpace.
Get him on one.
Rupture Rapture on YouTube.
Send him a DM, tell him he's sick, and just tell him ask where you can find his music, and go check it out. Check out the Cronx live stream.
Worst case scenario, just watch the live stream.
Yeah, watch the live stream. It's brilliant. Keep an eye out for Rob. He's just awesome.
Yeah.
Really nice guy as well. Thanks for coming down, man.
Bless it, thank you so much. Cronxlive. Check out the Monday Night Hype. I am Lousifa. That was Dylan, the alias. This is Rob, and every other name that we've already mentioned. Croydon, we love you.